transforming urban planning. To take us through this discussion, please welcome to the stage Latifa Alshehhi, Director of Investment Data at the Department. Along with her is Kholood Abdulla Alsuwaidi, Head of Smart Data Section at the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, and of course your moderator, Ramia Farrage, Senior Presenter and Producer at Forbes Middle East.
Hello, everyone. Hello. It's wonderful to be at Building the Future Summit, isn't it? And I'm so excited to be on this panel with these two tech leaders representing the UAE government. As our cities evolve into increasingly complex ecosystems, data is the new blueprint, shaping how we plan, how we build, how we live. Am I right? We're entering an era where real-time insights drive every part of metropolitan development. Now, Latifa, as the director of the Investment Data Department, how are AI, the metaverse, and emerging technologies shaping smarter and more immersive urban experiences over the next 10 years, let's say?
So if we look back, we had a lot of hypes coming into the tech world. We had the hype of blockchain, and everyone was doing whatever we wanted, selling, buying on the blockchain. And then we moved to this revolution of the metaverse. People started utilizing the metaverse in their daily lives, and that was the hype, and now we're in the hype of AI. So we will have more hypes coming, and it's not about the hype, it's about how can we actually utilize all of these technologies to support the city and to support people's lives and living in the city. So there's a concept called digital twin, and I believe most of you heard about. So the future, where we're heading is all of the systems that we're dealing with day to day, or interacting with, will be on this digital system. And they will be integrated. Data will be integrated across the city.
Enlighten us on the digital twin, if you would, just in 2 sentences.
So if we look at digital twin, it is an integrated ecosystem where you have infrastructure data, you have all of the real-time monitoring, and then you can do simulations on top of that. So that's what and where we're building specifically. It's all about integration, and it's all about how we can simulate the future to serve all of you better living in the city. So in summary, these are the 3 elements, and we're very blessed. I think His Excellency Mohammed mentioned that we're one of the top cities in security. We're one of the top cities looking at artificial intelligence, and in the future, hopefully, we would keep this momentum. But our main goal in government is, and in data, is how we can support improving the lives of the people who are living in the city and in the urban landscape.
And Kholood, tell us how the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure is really leveraging environmental and infrastructure data to support more sustainable land use and to support your urban development strategies.
Maybe I will add to my colleague Latifa. The main target in our government is we are integrating the environment and infrastructure data to plan urban planning for cities. Also, we are depending on our national geospatial platform that contain data from utilities, environmental agencies, and transportation utilities also, that give us the holistic overview to plan the future.
And what platform are you using for your geospatial data?
We are using the ArcMap in our ministry. It is one of the amazing tools to analyze the geospatial data.
And Kholood, we see, Latifa, rather, let's go back to you first. I want to talk about the big strides that the UAE is creating in ecosystems for AI startups and for innovation hubs. We are seeing them spring up throughout the Emirates. How can this digital momentum be aligned with data-driven urban planning and infrastructure investment?
So if we look at our investments across, so we saw President Trump visit the UAE. We're spending on the biggest AI campus outside the United States. So this is one of the key digital infrastructure that we're building. But this didn't start here. It started back way back in 2000s when His Highness Farrage launched the e-government to take all of the government to the or the internet world. And then we moved to saying, okay, what's next? It's how can we take this digital infrastructure to be mobile so people can create and transact with the services from the mobile. And now we're talking about digital. But in the future, and building the right infrastructure, it's all about how can the government be an enabler? How can the government put the right framework? And this was when His Highness, His Excellency Amar was appointed. He was the first AI minister. He set out and put an AI strategy for the whole government. We have a lot of government policies, and then the government said, hey, we need to support an education. So they built one of the leading universities of artificial intelligence, the Zayed AI University, to also support not only enabling the citizens, but also giving them opportunities. And maybe a couple of weeks back, we saw a lot of decision makers coming to the Emirates in the AI week, and we saw all this buzz happening and policymakers working together in order to solve some of the leading challenges when it comes to AI bias, when it comes to ethics around AI, when it comes to the security element. So the government's role is very crucial in incubation and supporting the startup ecosystem in order to not be a regulator, to be more of an enabler that supports the progression of the system.
And if you recall, when the Minister of AI was appointed, we were all perplexed and wondering, what is this position, the Minister of AI? That was actually the first Minister of AI in the world. And now we see the UAE rising as a global contender in AI on BCG's latest index, and the top contender in the GCC. So it's incredible where we've come since that appointment was made just a few years back. And Kholood, we see IoT and we see smart infrastructure being deployed in real-time planning decisions in cities across the UAE. Give us some examples of how it's being deployed.
I think one of the most hot topic now in UAE is the traffic. Once I reach to the work every day, I hear someone talking about the traffic. The Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure starting to deploy smart sensors in our federal roads to detect the traffic flow, the air quality, and the energy consumption. All of these data are feeds the centralized dashboard for the decision maker to have a better plan for the future and to detect if there is any alert for any traffic or any traffic jams that happen in the federal roads. So this the first example. The second one, we are in the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure are responsible about the federal dams in the UAE. So we have smart sensors we detected in the dams to detect the water and the amount of water and the leakage if there is any waterfalls that happen more than the expected. So these are two powered by IoT that gives alert for sooner or immediate decision to protect the plants.
And we experienced incredible flooding in the UAE last year, especially in Dubai, but this is mainly helping the Emirates of Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah.
Yes, because the main dams are near to the mountains, near in Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah.
And as cities become more complex ecosystems, how would you say governments can ensure that data is integrated across ministries and across sectors for truly metropolitan planning? If you could both address this.
Yeah, so it's in the plan phase, it's all about understanding what's to come. So we always have to look beyond what we're working here today. So the first is how we can build this federated ecosystem where governments are not working in silos, but they're working with the broader ecosystem. So how can we do that in terms of sharing data, in terms of ensuring privacy, why we share the data, and ensuring that the data that is being shared is being used in an impactful manner. So this is the first thing. The second thing is there's a new concept in digital cities where they talk about open science. And open science looks at three main pillars. One, transparency. So how can you open your data that is classified as open to the world? Whether it was today you drive, if anyone knows about the app that you can order services from, they use the open data that's for parking in order to utilize their startup. The second is the collaboration element and how we can collaborate with the community, create co-policy design working groups with the citizens. And third, it's all about sharing and how we can share and hear and listen to the people's asks. Now, we're in the era of emerging data sources. We're not just talking about Excel sheets or sensors. Today, we're talking about, okay, our family, maybe some of your kids are on roadblocks building their own cities. Okay, but who owns the data that's on this metaverse? These are new data sources. Your mobile phone data. How you can leverage this new data source in creating better decision making. And in my work with the United Nations Working Group on the data science, we actually work together. We use the community element to tackle some of these challenges. And we were able to create business cases, guidelines, in order for all cities around the world today to use the handbook for mobile phone data and transport, for example, in order to create better decisions in understanding population density, understanding crowd movement using mobile phone data and your pin location. That's like every 15 minutes. So there is a humongous amount of technology, and us as data leaders in our organization, it's our jobs to say, hey, what can we do with these new technologies in supporting of the whole point of this, supporting the citizens and making the UAE and keeping the UAE number one in one of these sectors.
And so far, this data is being used to the benefit of everyone living here. As we heard, traffic is going to improve. This is what Kholood is promising. Kholood, what are your thoughts?
I think the data integration between the ministries and the utilities in general, it's a must nowadays. It is not luxury anymore. One of the most topic that Sheikh Mohammed Farrage is talking about is zero bureaucracy. We cannot reach to zero bureaucracy without integrating with all of the entities and getting these data from every single entity in the UAE. Not only we are talking about the federal, no, we are also talking about the local and private sectors. We can reach this level by securing the APIs between us and the other entities, ensuring that every data we will receive it is recorded by employees that we will use it in a good way. So the other entities can also share it, and they think that we have a goal, an ultimate goal, that we will share this data for this ultimate goal. So one of the most critical topics now, which is the zero bureaucracy, and it is developed on the data integration.
And it's so important, isn't it, to balance innovation with cultural preservation and with community engagement. What are the best strategies in achieving this?
Now, us as digital natives, we understand where everything you do all day, the AI knows whatever you want before you even think about what it is. So now it's all about how we can embed our own culture into the code that the AI is utilizing. And we can do that, in my opinion, in two ways. First, how we can create more data. So data from this region, whether it was posting pictures of UAE nationals, whether it was talking about stories from the past and from our great-grandfathers, whether it was uploading pictures of Dubai and all of these through the digital platforms, and also interacting in terms of using Arabic content to interact. The more data about this part of the world that we have on the internet, the more the AI models can utilize them in creating better use cases. The second is the models. Now, how can we build models from this part of the world? And this was a huge challenge, because most of the models that we use, whether it was ChatGPT, DALL-E, etc., is exported models from the West, from Silicon Valley, and being built by certain people. but how we can support in terms of utilizing UAE resources to build those models. And we have two today. We have the Falcon model that we've all heard about, and we have JACE model as well. That's an Arabic language LLM. So these are two ways that we can also ensure that our heritage is not forgotten in the future.
You say we have the JACE and the Falcon model, and we do know about these models, but how do we access them? And why aren't we accessing them? Why are we using ChatGPT?
Yeah, most of the models are open source, so the Falcon is open source. You can also access them through the networks. But I think it's all about the learning process. We're still learning. A small nation of the UAE has built one of the strongest models. This is something that we will hear about more in the future, especially with the huge investments in AI that we see.
Regarding my background in urban planning, one of the most effective tools in urban planning is to engage the community in the planning phase. The community, they know the exact culture of themselves and also the values that can be reflected on the plans. So engaging them from the beginning, it will be very great to ensure that every cultural and values that the community has is implemented in the plan itself. So I think as His Excellency Mohammed Kuwaiti talking about engaging the community in cybersecurity, also engaging the community in planning is one of the most important things.
So I think what we've seen today is that data isn't just a tool, it's a connector. It brings together innovation and heritage and technology, and it brings together people. And I want to thank you so much for being with us today. And I need to make a note that I was so pleased to have our opening panel with two female Emirati tech leaders.
Very